The alignment assessment is the biggest breakthrough in health, and you're going to see why today. It's also the fastest health check-up on the planet. There's nobody else out there who can compete with us. It's also the most accurate detection tool available. And we have to remember that this is very unique. We have the evidence that there's nothing else out there like this. I was on a podcast this morning. I was taking a doctor of acupuncture through his report and his business partner's report. And they're saying, Daniel, we have never seen anything like this in the world. One of my professors who works at the University of Arizona, she said, Daniel, what you're doing, I have never seen before. So trust that there's nobody else out there doing what we do. There's people who are doing 5-minute health analysis. It doesn't compare to our 90-second voice analysis. We are the only technology on the planet that uses AI to detect and AI to correct on the same platform. Nothing else out there. We're years ahead, and I want you to take advantage of that positioning. So the alignment assessment is a vocal health analysis that requires no needles, no blood tests, no saliva samples, only your voice to monitor holistic health. And this is something that we have to educate the audience on. Do you like having blood tests? Do you like having your blood drawn? Did you like COVID tests when they put that long thing down your nose? No, all of that's invasive. We are 100% non-invasive. Now, by analyzing your voice waves, we can assess your emotional frequency. Our artificial intelligence gathers 1,440 emotional triggers, 14,000 health and genetic issues from just a 90-second voice analysis. Now, the core technology was developed in Europe based on studies in quantum physics, biochemistry, epigenetics, psychology, and other research fields from various universities around the world. Now, the software is able to connect vocal vibrations and brain waves to emotions. And using AI, machine learning, and big data technology, the software can connect vocal vibrations and brain waves to holistic health. So let's have a look at the definitions here. Artificial intelligence. Now, artificial intelligence is the science of building computers and machines that can think and act like humans. And if you have a look at the Chinese symbol for computer, it literally means electric brain. So we have an electric brain right here. Machine learning. This is a type of artificial intelligence that enables systems to learn and improve on their own by analyzing large amounts of data. So what happens is, as we do thousands and hundreds of thousands of these reports every week, millions every year, the machine learns faster, and it's just going to get better over time. There's been millions of case studies done already, and the more we do, the smarter the machine gets. And once you start to show people this alignment assessment, you're going to hear the same thing over and over again. Oh my gosh, I just got diagnosed with that. This just happened. And so as the machine gets smarter, the results get better. Big data. Now, big data is extremely large and diverse collections of data that are too big and complex for traditional systems to manage. So what this means is that as this technology has been developed, we're collaborating with people like Amazon Web Services. Are you familiar with AWS? It's like the biggest processor of information in the world. And our machines are learning from voice samples going through things like Hey Siri and Hey Alexa. This is the scale that we're building upon. Amazon Web Services helped train our algorithms. Does that make sense? So all the voice samples that go through Amazon have been trained to improve this technology. Algorithm is a set of instructions that is followed to perform a task or solve a problem. So we have advanced algorithms specifically around holistic health, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Vocal biomarker. This is a person's voice that is associated with a specific medical condition or outcome. So if you've heard me use the word vocal biomarker before, what it really means, it's a quality of a person's voice with a specific mental condition or outcome. This is what we call vocal biomarkers. Now, in terms of the software, it's able to measure physical health, emotional health, mental health, and spiritual health levels. And the technology is completely unbiased in all aspects. There's no questions that influence responses. We focus solely on the qualities of voice. It can be completed in any language. We concentrate on brainwave activity, and anyone of any age can use this technology. And there is no other technology that offers this level of objectivity. It's a very rare piece of technology. Now, the innovative voice analysis technology can identify physiological changes. So listen to this. Depression results from poor health habits and imbalances in neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. When people are low in dopamine and serotonin, it changes their voice. Anxiety. Anxiety manifests in increased heart rate, rapid breathing, sweaty palms, constant unease, and difficulty relaxing. Anxiety changes brainwave and organ frequencies. Our technology can detect that. Stress. Stress activates the sympathetic nervous system and it triggers the fight or flight response, which can lead to hypoglycemia and also bleeding inside the body. We can detect this. Burnout. Now, burnout is caused by uncontrollable stress, resulting in fatigue and impaired regulation of thoughts and emotions. And we can detect physiological changes associated with depression, anxiety, stress, and burnout because it changes the voice. So the question is, what does it take to make a speech sound? Well, it takes the coordination of 100 muscles working with the nervous system, the brain, the auditory systems, the sensory system, and the language perception system. The face alone has 43 muscles, and the masseter muscle in the jaw is the strongest in the body. The tongue also consists of 8 muscles. The tongue can move in every direction, and it can produce 130 words per minute. The tongue is very flexible. The tongue indicates health, and the tongue can also accumulate fat during weight gain. Imagine that. So let's have a look at traditional Chinese medicine. In traditional Chinese medicine, they say the tongue can reveal signs of health issues. And so what a doctor does is the doctor examines the shape of the tongue, the coating, and the colour during a diagnosis. And they start to focus on specific areas of the tongue which are linked to different organs and body systems. And each region of the tongue reflects health of certain organs. So let's pick out 3. Let's have a look at qi deficiency. If somebody is suffering from qi deficiency, it demonstrates overthinking and worrying. Imagine that. Overthinking and worrying can affect the shape of the tongue. Heat tongue, right in the middle. Heat tongue shows a bad temperament. Qi stagnation down the bottom left. It shows unstable emotional states and even premenstrual tension. We also have yang deficiency, and yang deficiency shows emotionally low states. So in traditional Chinese medicine, doctors are already trained to see these changes on the tongue. Our machine already knows and can pick up those subtle differences. Clinical depression. Health conditions like clinical depression can affect how well the brain coordinates the muscles that produce speech. Now, it can cause noticeable changes in certain aspects of how a person speaks. A lot of those changes can be heard, but others can only be detected using signal processing tools like the alignment assessment. Have you ever heard of that old saying, tripping over your tongue? Think about people's voice for a moment. Now, let's put some context around this. Mental health refers to a state of well-being that fosters a positive outlook on your thoughts, feelings, and actions. The average person has 60,000 thoughts per day. 95% are repetitive. 80% of thoughts are negative. We also speak about 16,000 words per day. Bit of a giveaway, isn't it? For how healthy you are. We're going to be able to hear it in the voice. So we have two different types of speakers. We have mentally fit and we have depressed speakers. Mentally fit speakers display a lot more vocal energy. They have more highs and low tones. They speak at a faster rate. They have shorter pauses, and there's tighter patterns in the waveforms. The algorithm is detecting this. Have a look at the depressed speakers on the right-hand side. Think about a depressed person that you know. When they speak, they show less vocal energy. They speak at slower rates. There's slower patterns in the waveforms. They also take a lot more pauses, and they have a slower speaking rate. You already hear these things, don't you? When somebody's really excited, they speak really fast, really energetic. But the person who's just got some bad news, they start to trip over the tongue, don't they? Have you noticed they can't breathe? Have you noticed that? They try to get it out, but the mouth's either too dry or too wet, or the tongue is really fat. And have you noticed that? When somebody you know is depressed, they don't need to tell you they're depressed, do they? You already know. But
Yep.
what we're doing is we're using science. We're going to trust in science to do the detection. So what we have to take away personally and what we have to educate our marketplace on is voice is the most human, it's the most complex human function. It requires brain activity, muscle coordination, proper respiratory system function, and diseases affecting any of these systems lead to changes in the voice. Now, according to the Cleveland Clinic, causes of speech impairment include neurological disorders. Have you noticed that when somebody has a neurological disorder, such as stroke, Parkinson's disease, dementia, brain tumor, or epilepsy, their voice is affected? Now, our technology can measure things like Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's in a 4-second voice sample. Developmental conditions, very important for you, Vicky, is that people with ASD, ADHD, ADD, it impacts the voice. Infections, whether it be viral or bacterial infections, tonsillitis, cold and flu, pneumonia, inflammation in the body impacts the voice. And then there's other causes, things like nerve damage, asthma, exhaustion, stress, and alcohol consumption. All impacts the voice. So our metaphor is this. Think of an alignment assessment like an X-ray. The X-ray looks at physical things like bones and joints and cartilages and organs. But the alignment assessment is looking at the invisible. It's looking at physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health. And just like an X-ray, the alignment assessment makes the invisible visible. And when you're educating your marketplace, use that metaphor. I've never met somebody who hasn't had an X-ray or know what an X-ray is. They get it. And if you can link alignment assessment to X-ray, job done. They get it. That's our job with the metaphor.